Está escuchando La Voz Alegre con música y mensajes que ayuda a tener más alegría en tu vida. Gracias por su participación hoy con nosotros. Recuerda, si quiere un curso de la Biblia gratis, puede solicitarlo a escuelabiblicamundial.org. Otra vez, escuelabiblicamundial.org. O escribirnos a Iglesia de Cristo, apartado 6011, Habana 6, Cuba, código postal 10600. La Voz Alegre, the Happy Voice Radio Hour, is reaching Cuba every Sunday night via Trans World Radio. This radio outreach is building on a long history of our media work in Cuba. It began with the training of preachers, then the copying and distribution of the evangelistic television program Con la Biblia Abierta, the Open Bible. These early efforts helped the church reach out to many people, teaching them about the love of Jesus, and for many, it was the first time in their lives to hear the gospel. These ministers and their families have planted churches of Christ all over the island. They have worked faithfully to make Jesus known through their teaching, personal examples, and service in their communities. We have seen young people gather every year to meet other Christian teens, learn more about God's will for their lives, and serve one another. The women's work is going strong. Women from all over Cuba encourage each other with Bible-focused lady days and lots of sharing. They work all year to sew gifts of love, pillows, aprons, kitchen potholders, wall hangings, and more. These projects are daily reminders of the sisterly bond of love and hope that they have in Jesus while they are cooking and cleaning in their homes each and every day. A farm that the Cuban government allowed the church to purchase now helps to feed the communities around the different congregations. Programs to feed the elderly are growing in many locations as the minimum daily food rationing is supplemented by the church's outreach. The church is a community of believers that enjoys worshiping, fellowshipping, and serving together. The church in Cuba is becoming mature in its service to others, commitment to the Scripture, and evangelistic outreach. All of this has brought us to another great historic moment in media's Christian outreach in Cuba. "20 evangelists traveled to Havana from 8 different provinces of Cuba by bus, train, or the back of pickup trucks to attend a 2-day workshop. They arrived at the 10th of October church building in Havana. This building became their classroom, dormitory, cafeteria, and recording studio for 2 days. The church auditorium was cleared out, tables were set up, and meals were served in this makeshift cafeteria. Our first radio production workshop in Cuba was ready to begin. Our purpose? Train Cuban Christians to write and record radio-style messages that can be shared through the limited media that they have access to. Building a radio magazine format with these men was natural. Each preacher was trained from different careers by their government. This means we had a room filled with expertise in agriculture, mechanics, architecture, engineering, and more, and all of the master's level Bible knowledge. Each were asked to use their secular knowledge to connect to the listener's need, and then to make a biblical life application. Guillermo and his son Angel bring a father and son message. This family have become good Samaritans, nursing the wounded and the sick in their own home. Their message of caring can teach many. Lazaro, an ornamental welder, shares his trade and talks about God softening our hearts so that He can shape us into something beautiful that glorifies Him. Daniel, an expert in agriculture, teaches the basic care of a plant to help the listener understand the importance of being under God's care. Being nourished spiritually, he says, transforms us every day and helps us flourish and produce blessings for those around us. Recording studios were set up in different parts of the building. In the dormitory, a father and son record their script together in the middle of bunk beds. Downstairs, one of the students set up a recording studio in the bathroom. As the students practiced their scripts, recording continued in all three makeshift studios. Roberto Pino, the director of the Bible Institute in Havana, shared radio listener requests for Bible studies, prayers, and help to plant new churches in towns across Cuba. These letters are now flooding the church's P.O. box in Havana. Why a radio production workshop now? With all of these men and their families involved in following up with the listeners of La Voz Alegre, the Happy Voice radio program, they have come to realize that they too can be a voice for Jesus. Cuban men and women that are Christians want to be a voice for Jesus Christ in Cuba and in the world. Where do we go from here? Each preacher has returned to their congregations and has begun organizing a radio production team of their own. Their first assignment is to produce a playable CD in a magazine radio format that will include about 15 individual tracks, a mix of music, advice, and spiritual messages targeted to non-believers. Please pray for Cuba, our listeners, and our student radio producers. Your prayers make a difference.